Hello everyone and welcome to Greyhammer. Today we're going to be doing a continuation of the last episode. So Warden King, 5 attacks, 3 up, rend 2, 2 damage. When you declare a fight ability for this unit, you pick a friendly non-hero Jordan unit that is Cities of Sigmar Jordan unit that is not used a fight ability. They can be picked to use a fight ability immediately after the fight ability used by this unit's been resolved, and then in the deployment phase, you can pick an enemy unit in your opponent's army to bear a grudge. You can pick an enemy in reserve. For the rest of the battle, add 1 to wound rolls made by Cities of Sigmar Dwarven units that target that unit. Really powerful ability there. Rune Lord acts kind of as your Dwarven priest. You can use Unbind as if it's a wizard. It's got a prayer casting value of 5. Pick a Jordan unit within 12 until the start of the next turn. Add 1 to the rend. If you had a 10, it's pick another one wholly within 12, add 1 to the rend of their melee weapons as well. So you can save it up for giving 2 units an extra rend, which is strong. Longbeards have regular 2 attacks, 3 up, 4 up, rend 1, 1 damage, and you add 2 to the control scores of other Cities of Sigmar Jordan, excluding Longbeards within 12 inches, which is really strong. Going to make objective grabbing very useful for these guys. And 3 up save, so useful, tough infantry. Hammers are great. 2 attacks, 4 up, 3 up, rend 1, 2 damage. And they get a 5 up ward if they're in combat range of a hero, and they give the hero the 5 up ward as well. Iron Breakers are super defensible. 3 up save, control 1. They've got the Iron Breaker weapons, which aren't too standard, but when you take the Officer's Order ability, Hold the Line, they have a ward of 4 up instead of 5 up, which is really, really strong. Iron Drakes are some pretty powerful shooting attacks, and then if they're not in combat, they also, on a 3 up, inflict an amount of mortal damage equal to the roll to a target within 6. So they kind of put them behind like your hammers or longbeards and have them just kind of dropping bombs into the enemy formations. I think the Drake guns are going to be better for the most part, but Cogsmiths, you pick up to 3 friendly gyrocopters or gyrobombers on a 3 up, add 1 to the hit rolls. So pretty useful there to just kind of make your gyrobombers and gyrocopters better. I don't think they're that good, but Gyrocopter, if they use a move ability, pick an enemy unit that does not have the fly and is passed over, roll a d3 on a 2 up, inflict mortal damage equal to the roll. Same thing basically with the Gyrobomber, except you can pick one or the other. On 1, it's a 2 up, inflict amount of mortal damage equal to the roll, or you make 2 rolls of 2d3 for each 2 up, inflict an amount of mortal damage, then roll a d3 for each unit within the target's combat range that does not have fly. On a 2 up, inflict mortal damage equal to the roll. And then once the trumpet all effect of this has been resolved, this unit cannot use this ability again for the rest of the battle. I don't think that's super good. And unless you can still use tactical bombing, it's kind of hard to tell with that wording. But anyways, going on, you've got Sorceress, 5 health, 6-inch moves, 6 up save. You've got Cruel Sacrifice once per turn in your hero phase. You pick a friendly Cities of Sigmar elf unit wholly within 6, and add 1 to casting rolls for this unit for the rest of the turn. Then roll a dice on a 4 up a model in the target unit is slain. And then Word of Pain is you pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit, and then roll a dice on a 3 up, subtract 1 from hit and wound rolls. So pretty useful support character, Wizard 1 as well. Doesn't have a War Scroll spell though, which is a big kind of theme. Sorceress on Black Dragon, 14 health character, 4 up save. Dragon does pretty good damage, and then in your hero phase you can command underlings, pick up to 3 friendly Cities of Sigmar elf infantry wholly within 12, add 3 to their move, making them movement 9, which is pretty crazy. Feed on Life Force. Once per turn at the end of any turn, you pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit and roll a d3. On a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. If any enemy models are slain, place a dark sorcery token next to this unit for the rest of the battle to a maximum of 3 tokens. And you add 1 to casting rolls for each dark sorcery token it has. This is actually really powerful. If you can take her into combat with some weak infantry, then you can get some spells off that pretty easily. She gets a pretty good casting bonus for 3 rounds of combat against infantry, basically. You've got your Dread Spears, basic infantry. They've got the anti-charge ability, and if they did not charge this turn, add 1 to the wound rolls for this unit's attacks until the rest of the turn. Pretty standard. Blackguard are kind of like your hammers of elves. They're a little less tanky. 2 attacks, 3-up, 4-up, rend 1 damage, and gives Cities of Sigmar elf infantry heroes a ward of 5-up if they're near them, and gives themselves a ward of 5-up as well. Kind of typical rules there. War Hydra acts as a kind of healing monster. Once per turn at the end of any turn, you can heal at 6. And then once per turn in any combat phase, a 6-headed strike, you pick an enemy unit, make 6 d3 rolls. For each roll that exceeds the target's health characteristic, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. So pretty good anti-infantry character because it's razor sharp. Fangs also have anti-infantry. Bleak Swords, kind of standard. Crit 2 hits is nice. And add 1 to the attack's characteristic of their melee weapons while it's contesting an objective you do not control. So they're good at advancing, especially if you can make them movement 9, that ability. Executioners, you've got your crit mortals. They hit hard. These guys hit like trucks. If this unit charged this turn, the unit's attacks score critical hits on unmodified hit rolls of 5-up. So you want to keep them charging for sure. So 5's doing 1 mortal damage. Dark Shards, you've got anti-infantry shots, and if they have not moved and not been set up, you add 1 to the attack's characteristic of their repeater crossbows for the rest of the turn. So could get 3 shots apiece, so 30 shots total, which is really nice. Drakespawn Chariot acts as a really cheap chariot, but it's not that good either. You get the extra charge damage, and then once it's charged, pick an enemy unit on a 2-up and roll d3 on a 2-up, inflict amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. This needs to be in concert with something else because it's not going to do that much damage, and it's not that tanky. The 4-up save, 8 wounds. Dreadlord on Black Dragon. Passive is add 1 to the charge rolls for Cities of Sigmar Elf Cavalry while they're wholly within 12. I don't think this can. Yeah, it's War Machine, not Cavalry. And then once per turn in a combat phase, you pick all units, friendly and enemy, within this unit's combat range, excluding this unit to be the target. Roll a d3 for each target. On a 2-up, inflict amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. So you kind of want to run him sort of separate from other people, but you want, while moving, you want the cavalry close, but then you kind of want to diverge. Dark Riders act as your light cavalry for Cities of Sigmar. 12-inch move, 4-up save. They're actually somewhat tanky-ish. And they've got their repeater crossbows with crits of 2 hits, and they do an extra damage on the charge. So they're pretty versatile. And then their ability is Sow Havoc is pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit, roll dice. On a 3-up, inflict d3 mortal damage on the target, and they can immediately retreat as if it's your movement phase without any mortal damage being inflicted on it, which is really powerful. It's probably not going to be able to get you out of combat for super long unless you can get a double turn, but it does, in fact, do some mortal damage, so definitely worth it. Drakespawn Knights, kind of your cavalier for elves, basically. You get the charge plus 1 damage, and then Bestial Instincts for the rest of the turn. Add 1 to the attacks of the Drakespawn's ferocious jaws while it's in combat with any damaged enemy units, or while it's in combat with any enemy units that have had any models slain. So really great at pairing with Dark Shards because you can start damaging things with your shots and then charging in with your knights. Assassin, 6 attacks, 3 up, 4 up, rend 1, 2 damage, anti-hero, and crit mortal. Really powerful there. Passive hidden murderer while it's within the combat range of a friendly infantry unit that has 5 or more models and the unit's not in combat. This unit is not visible to enemy units, and they have strike first to be charged in the same turn. Really squishy, but pretty good at killing heroes. Pretty cheap, if I remember correctly. Black Arc Fleet Master. You've got 5 attacks, 3 up, 4 up, rend 1, 2 damage, crit mortal. And then pick a friendly Black Arc Corsair unit that's not used to fight. It gets to resolve it afterwards. I really like the idea of the Black Arc Corsairs. Speaking of which, 2 attacks, 4 up, 4 up, no rend 1 damage, can shoot in combat. Really powerful there. Then they've got 2 attacks, 3 up, 4 up, no rend 1 damage, so they're better in melee. They don't have a great save. But each time you make an unmodified save roll of 6 for a combat attack that targets this unit, inflict a mortal damage on the attacking unit after the fight ability has been resolved. So, pretty useful there. And then Scourge Runner Chariots act as their chariot. Add 1 to hit rolls and wound rolls for the shooting attacks that target enemy monsters. So 2s and 2s if it's shooting a monster, which it already has anti-monster on pretty much all of its attacks. Charybdis acts kind of as a cheaper alternative to the Hydra. Attacks aren't too much to say, but it does help control objectives because you pick an enemy unit in combat with this target at the end of any turn and roll a dice. On 3 up, subtract 5 from the control score. That's really powerful. Note it also doesn't say reduce. You can't reduce it below 1, so you can actually nuke a character's control score. Alchemite Warforger, kind of wizard, and you can pick a friendly Cities of Sigmar unit wholly within 12, roll dice on a 3 up, add 1 to the save rolls for that unit, so you can make your humans a little bit more effective. Callous and Toll, actually really powerful. They're anti-wizards. They have a ward of 5 up. You don't get the right tools for the job, double the damage characteristic against wizards, priests, and manifestations. So their blades are actually get really powerful against wizards and manifestations. Wily to the last, if this unit has 2 models and would automatically be destroyed, it's not automatically destroyed. Instead, 1 model from the unit is slain. And then when your opponent declares a fight ability, you have Get It Done, pick a friendly Toll's companion unit. No, when you declare. Tolls can fight immediately after. Toll's companions can fight immediately after Callous and Toll. Makes sense. Toll's companions, pretty tough unit. You've got, I'm trying to remember how many there are in the unit. But while a friendly Callous and Toll unit is totally within this combat range, both the Callous and Toll and this unit have a ward of 5 up. In the deployment phase, you can pick this and Callous and Toll, you can set them in reserve, and you can bring them out of reserve more than 9 inches away from enemies, and then Callous and Toll has to be within 6 inches of them and more than 9 from enemies. Spearhead comes with a Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, 10 Free Guild Steel Helms, 5 Free Guild Cavalier, and 1 Ironweld Great Cannon. You get your Officer's Order, which we've talked about. It's basically you can spend some of your tactics to gain. You can use the command on the tactics and be able to shuffle it back into the deck. Regiment abilities, you get to pick 1. For a Sigmar charge, you use this ability before any charge abilities. Friendly cavalry units that charge this phase have strike first. That's pretty powerful. Ironweld Discipline, pick your Ironweld Great Cannon. It can use the shoot ability as if it's your shooting phase. These are both once per battle. So once per battle, you can either make your cavalry strike first, or you can make your Ironweld Great Cannon shoot in the enemy shooting phase. And then enhancements, you give 1 of these to your general, that Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. Get a once per battle heal D6. End of any turn, pick a friendly Steel Helms, return D3 slain models. That's a good one. Passive Heirloom Blade, add 1 to the rend of their Masterforged Longsword, or Glimmering. Each phase you can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, or 1 save roll. I would say probably you want to go Brazier of Holy Flame, but we'll check. So you've got your Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, where you pick a friendly Steel Helms unit older than 12. On a 2-up, pick 1. On your feet, if they're not in combat, they can return D3 same models, so you can do that twice. 1 at your hero phase, 1 at the end of any turn. So that's pretty powerful. Or yield no corner, add 3 to their control score. So that's really cool. Then you've got your Free Guild Steel Helms. Pretty standard infantry. They get to consecrate. Friendly units have a ward of 6 up while they're doing a consecrating objective. So can become pretty tanky. And they are reinforced, so you being able to heal them is even better because you can bring them back even if they die and continue to heal those ones up. Free Guild Cavaliers. Yeah, you do mortal damage on the charge, nothing too fancy there. Your Ironwalled Grape Cannon, yeah, basically doesn't get the fortified position. Okay, and I think that's it. Yes. I do want to see, does that, on the Free Guild Steel Helm, do that 5-up ward, is that for everyone or is that just for the unit? Because at first I read it just for the unit. On the 3-up, the objective is while each model in a friendly Cities of Sigmar human, they get a ward of 5-up. Okay, so that's way better. Free Guild Steel Helms may be a little cracked. I think Command Corps are one of the best units in the game, and definitely some of the best models. So they're definitely worth. So what are some things that I've pulled from this? Steam Tank Commanders, really powerful damage dealers. So Steam Tank lists are here in mass. I think it was already popular in Age of Sigmar 3, but I think it's going to be just as good, if not better, in this edition. I want to do a Dwarven list. I know I had talked about this in my podcast at one point. I have a Warden King, I have some Hammerers, and I have some Iron Breakers. I want some Longbeards, but I've got to do my Stormcast and paint all those up. But I really like these Hammerers. I think the Dwarves will be pretty powerful. We'll probably do some lists in the future. I'm trying to figure out what Warhammer content is going to do the best on the channel and what people want to see. Prayers seem powerful for the dwarves. Like there seem to be some pretty good prayers. Like add 1 to the roll if it's Jordan, so subtract 1 from wound rolls, and add 1 to save if it's 10 up. Which is pretty easy to get if it's a D6 plus 1. Wrath of Ruin, do some damage, and then Unfaltering Aim. Yeah, you can make your Iron Drakes hit better. I'm definitely interested to see how that goes, but let me know what you're most excited about for this faction. We're going to be going over Daughters of Cain tomorrow. I'm going through alphabetically. I'm really excited. So yeah, let me know what you're excited about. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.